everyone, this is Adam from the band Toxicon, and today I'm going to take you through all the guitar parts for our song Parallelysis, the first single from our new album Be the Fire and Wish for the Wind. The guitar's tuned in D standard and all the tabs will be down in the description for you. With that said, let's pick up an axe and get stuck into it. The intro to the track has a lot going on. There are 4 separate guitar parts playing pretty independent things from one another. So we'll go through all of them together with the band to apply context, and then we'll go through each part one at a time and see what's happening. The best way to look at this intro, I think, is to break it up into 3 separate repetitions, and we'll have a look at the chord part nice and easy first. So we're going to play a 7th fret full power chord with the octave. So we're going to take our first finger and play 7th fret, 5th string on a somewhat crunch channel. We're going to take our 3rd finger and we're going to play 9th fret 4th string, and we're going to add the little finger in just behind it, below it, on the 9th fret as well on the 3rd string. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take the low E and we're going to add that in there as well. And how the song will start, we'll roll the volume off, we'll play the chord, and we'll roll the volume up, just like that. So that's the first time the chord comes into it, and then we're not going to see the chords until the start of the 3rd repetition there, after all the layers come in, and it'll just be that same chord again, but just played open with no roll in. And we're going to take the same shape, not going to play the low E this time, and we're going to take that shape down 2 frets to the 5th fret, and then we're going to slide up, returning to that 7, and then we'll play 7 again, playing the 5th fret open, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then playing that full chord with the low E in it as well, back on the 7th. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. In terms of the riff for this section, we're only going to play this on the 2nd and 3rd rep. The bass comes in with the 1st rep and takes care of it there, and then we join up to it later. So we're going to start on the low E string, and a lot about this riff is going to be pedaling open notes to sort of create a droning effect. So we're going to start with a 12th fret pull off to an open string. But we want to hear it as 2 notes, so we don't want to hear... We want to be really methodical with the pull off and make sure the 12 and the pull off are 2 distinct notes. And then we're going to play an open 6 at the end there. Now we're going to play a bunch of highlight notes, which we're going to fill in with pedal tones. So the whole thing will be kind of a set of straight 16th or 32nd notes. So da 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 da. So every time we're not playing a highlighted note, we're going to fill it in with pedal tones there, and we're going to play them sort of open and a little bit messy and a little bit rock. So those pedal tones there, as highlight notes, are going to be all on the 5th string, and we're going to play 14th fret, 15th fret, C followed by the tones there with the open note, 14, and then we're going to hammer on from 12 to 14, hearing both as their own notes. You can sort of play this down up pick or all down picking or a combination of both, whatever suits you. It's kind of doesn't really matter. Like I'll down up pick, alternate a lot of it, and then I'll just play those sort of low notes open there, or with downs. So at the end of that sort of section will repeat twice. And then instead of going sort of playing that hammer on from 12 to 14 and sitting on that drone, we're only going to play the drone once, and we're going to play a little descending run, super simple, 14-12 on the 5th string, and then 15-14 on the low E string. Then we're moving the pedal tone down to the 10, and we're going to still have those highlighted notes in the key. We're just going to move the hand position a bit to compensate. So we're going to go no hammer on or pull off on the 10, we're just going to go 3 strikes, 12 on the 5th string, back to the 10 for the pedal, 14, back to the 12, and then a hammer on between 10 and 12. I generally bar it across the 6th and 5th string just so I can easily just play that hammer on without having to move the pedal. And then we're going to move down to a really simple 3 strikes with a power chord on the 8th fret, 6th string, and having that 3rd finger on the 10th fret there to sort of fill those notes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 7th fret the same. We can just choose to finish it on those chords. In terms of playing this live, what we'll generally do is on the 2nd repetition have the guitar joining the riff, and then when the chords come in for that final 3rd rep, switch over to because the bass is still filling in that gap there. And there's a main lead and kind of a counter melody harmony part that comes in throughout the entirety of this intro. So we'll start by looking at that by rolling our volume off, funny enough. And the way I like to play this, and we can look along the tab if we like to, is playing 1st finger on the 11th fret of the 3rd string. And we'll play that open and roll the volume up. So once we do that, we're just going to play 11-12 on that 3rd string. And then we're going to jump still on the 3rd string up to the 14th fret and 16. Back to 12. Ending on that 16 there with a bit of rubbish vibrato. And then staying on that 14-16 shape on the 3rd string, we're going to go 14-16-14, move down to the 4th string of the 17th fret, so just working our way down the scale there. 17-16 on the 4th string, so 17, 16, 17, 16, 14. And again a bit of that rubbish vibrato just to finish off the phrase. So far we have And now we're going to come in back to that third string with that 14-16. Going to the B string now. Once we go to the 12, I like to play it with the second finger sliding up to 15. So second finger sliding up to 15 on the B, and then 13-12. And now we're going to string skip to the 4th string again, and we're going to slide into the 16th fret. I do it with the second finger. And then we're going to bend up and let it go down to 14. There it is. And then back to that nice 14-16 shape, going back down the scale on the 3rd string. Sliding the 3rd finger up to 19, 17, 16. And then going back to the 14, still on the 4th string now, 14, 16, 17. Doubling up on that 17. Going down to the 12. And then we're going to slide with the second finger, I like to slide with the second finger a lot, into the 16th fret of the 3rd string. So the whole phrase will sound something like this. So while that's going on, and the tab will really help with this one, there's a counter melody coming in and coming out at different sort of intervals. So the first part of the counter melody comes in with a, funny enough, 14, 16, 12. So it's... So it doesn't play that first part, but it's playing that 14, 16, 14, 12 with the vibrato over the, on the 3rd string, over the 4th string, 16, 17, 16, 14. Then it has that boom, bum, bum, bum with one guitar, and then the harmony is going to come back in with a bend on the B string on the 19th fret. Probably too far. I'm going to try and bend up to that 20 from the 19. And then, so we're going up to the E string now, 17, 19, 17, which mirrors that. And then we're going to slide into the 20, 19, 15, 20, 19, 15 again. And then we're going to slide into that with the 3rd finger, up on the 19 again on the high E to the 17. Going to play 19 again on the B. And sliding up to the 24. The first verse for the track is kind of cool. It takes all the layers and strips it right down to add sort of a calm before the storm type vibe here. There's only 2 parts happening, so we'll have a look at them once again with the band for context, and we'll go through them one at a time. The chords for the verse are very similar to the chords that were in the intro. We're just going to elongate them and take the fifth away, generally. And what I mean by that is we're going to start where the chords for the intro stopped, on that 7th fret power chord with the root note and the low E in it too. What's going to happen now is that main riff's going to play over it. We'll get to that in a minute, but I just want us to understand the structure of these chords first. So we're still going to go from the 7th back into the, from the 5th fret, excuse me, back into the 7th. But we're going to play octaves on the 5th fret instead. So we're going to take the 5th away and just have a 5th string, 5th fret, and 3rd string, 7th fret octave. And we're going to have that low E in there as well, just to continue that rumble. Then we're going to go back to that 7th for the next loop round. Our 5th fret octave, then we're going to play a low E. Then we're going to go back to that 5th fret octave, but instead of shooting back up to the 7th this time, we're going to shoot into the low E. So far we have this. And then we're going to come in with on the low 6th string this time. We're going to go 5th power chord, so we're going to go 1st finger on the 8th fret, 6th string. We're going to bring the 3rd finger in to the 10th on the 5th string. And we're going to add the 4th just in behind it on the 4th string there, still on the 10th fret. Shoot that down to 7. And we're going to cut it off before the last little note of the riff there. Now taking a look at the verse riff here, and kind of the main theme of the whole song, I see at least. It's at least the riff that started the song. I actually ripped this off from a band called Carnival. Their album Themata has a song at the end of it called Change Part 2. And it kind of is this really short, spacey, sort of proggy song, and then this little riff that comes at the end that's like and the song ends. So I went down the rabbit hole and I'm like, what if this song continued on? And that's essentially where we got to with Parallelysis. So looking at that riff, we're going to start by down picking a muted 6th string. This is going to kind of carry on from that pedal tone idea from the riff before in the intro. There's just a little bit more going on this time. So we're going to down pick that 12th fret on the 6th string. And then we can play this up down or down down in terms of the picking. You can play it any way you like. The up down is just more preferable for me. So we're going to down pick the 12 twice and then up pick the 14th on the 5th fret. And return to that 12th there as the pedal tone. Then we're going to add the 15 to the mix after that. Return to the 14. Then we're going to string skip to the 15, or the 4th string now. Return to that 12th for the pedal tone. Then by barring the 12th fret across the 6, 5, 4 strings, we're going to play the 4th string 12th fret and then back to the pedal tone. Then we're going to add the 14, still on the 4th string there. That might take a little bit of getting used to if we're not used to string skipping at all. Just trying to get that. It'd be harder if you downpick it, I think. Like, I'm always nudging that middle string there. So far with the riff sounds like this. And then we're going to return to the 5th string there, and we're going to pull off 15 to 12. So then we're going to move into the second part of this riff now, which is still going to start with that 2 down picks on the 12. And then we're going to go to the 5th string and kind of hammer on and pull off this 14, 15. Ending with a pedal tone. And then we're going to move finally away from this pedal tone now. Into this tail end here. So then we're going to move our first finger, still on the 12th fret, to the 4th string now. I'm going to go up pick on that 4th string, add the 14 in on the 5th fret, on the 5th string, 14th fret with the down pick. Move that whole shape 2 frets down, so we're going to be on 10 and 12 now. And then from that 12, I slide up to the 14. And trying to hear that each note as the slide as its own beat. So it's not, it's with a really measured slide. And then we're going to go, still on the 5th string there, 1st finger on the 9th fret. We're going to go 2nd finger on the 10th fret, 4th finger on the 12th fret, and then we're going to jump our 2nd finger up to the 10th fret of the low E. And so far we have this. And that's going to happen just like that 3 times. How we're going to finish this is a pretty elongated tail end, starting with an open 6th string, still palm muted, then we're going to add the 10, and we're going to palm mute everything except the last note in these phrases of 4 notes. So 1, 1st finger on 10th fret, 2, 3rd finger on 12th fret, 5th string, and then we're going to bar it to play the 12th fret again, but the 4th string open. Just to make a power chord. We're going to do that once, and then we're going to start with that same palm muting 0, 10, 12 on the 5th. And then we're going to shoot our first finger back down, still to the 4th string, but we're going to have the open note as the 10th this time. We can shoot it down or we can bar it. Sometimes I do a mixture of both depending on how I'm feeling in the moment. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Open 10, 12 on the 5th. There's the 12th on the 5th. And then the last one of the 3 is going to shoot the first finger down to the 9th fret this time on the 4th string. And then we're going to go 10, 12, 10 on the 5th string with an open palm muted 6th string. And then we're going to go an open palm muted 6th string to a slidden, that's not a word, to a sliding 10, 12, 10 with a 2nd finger on the 5th string. And then we're going to finish it up by still playing that open 6. I'm going to go 7 this time with the first finger. So instead of moving to the 4th string this time, we're going to stay on just the 6th and 5th. We're going to palm mute, open, 7, and then 9 on the 5th string. And we're going to play 10 open on the 5th string. Then we're going to move the shape down to the 5th fret now, open, 5th, 7th, palm muted. Back to the pedal tone on the 5th. And then we're going to play the open 7th string there, the open 7th fret, excuse me. Back to the pedal. And then we're going to return to that 5th string, 9, 10, 12, 10 on the low 6th. So the whole tail end sounds like this. Both chorus 1 and 2 are played exactly the same, and once again there are only 2 guitar parts happening. The third chorus throws a bit of a spanner in the works, but we'll get to that a bit later in the video. So let's take a look at it all with the band and we'll go through it. The rhythm chords for the first 2 choruses are pretty nice and simple. What we're going to do is we're going to play an open E power chord. So that's the open low 6, followed by the first finger barring the 2nd fret on the 5th and 4th string. And there are essentially 4 chord shapes here with a tail end at the end. So what we'll do, the picking pattern is down, down, up, down. Then we're going to move to that octave from before, which where we're going to play that open 6th string, 7th fret, 5th string with the first finger. We're not going to play the 4th string. We're just going to mute that with our first finger, just letting it lie lazily there. And then we're going to take our 3rd finger and play the 9th fret below it on that 3rd string there. So the picking pattern is as such. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So down, down, up, down, 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 up. So as soon as we get that picking pattern in mind, that strumming pattern with the right hand, the next 2 chords are going to be pretty easy to pick up. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So that's the first 2 chords, and then we're going to move to 2 more power chords, being on the low 6th string, 5th fret. First finger, then we're going to play the full 5th power chord there, so we're going to add on our 7th fret, 5th string, 3rd finger, and we're just going to tuck the 4th finger in below it on the 4th string there, still on the 7th fret. So down, down, up, down again. And then we're just going to move this shape here 2 frets towards the headstock. So we're going to move this whole shape down to the 3rd fret. And that's that same down, down, up, down, 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 up. And that's just going to loop 3 times. we're going to do, we're just going to play the tail end from the verse previously, but on that distorted crunch channel there. So the whole choruses for 1 and 2 up to speed sound kind of like this for the rhythm chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. The melodies for the first 2 choruses are all going to revolve around octaves, specifically octaves on the 5th and 3rd string. So we'll start out with our favourite position, the first finger on the 7th fret 5th string, and we're going to bring the 3rd finger in on the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and we're muting that 4th string there in the middle with the first finger. We don't want to hear that, we don't want to hear this. We just want to hear those octaves, okay? Now, the strumming pattern, we're introducing ghost strumming here a lot, which is a way that I like to think about it. Ghost strumming is essentially moving your right hand up and down over the strings, but instead of hitting every string in a 16th, we're actually going to be skipping over the strings sometimes. See, my hand's still kind of moving, not fully, it's not doing full strums, but we're still moving it around trying to keep that rhythm there. So we're going to start on that 7th fret there, with that down, down, up, down, and that last down moving up to the 10th fret there, with that same from the chord section beforehand. We're just moving it 2 octaves. This is where the part's going to change a little bit. So now we're going to shoot our hand down to the 9th fret now, still keeping that octave shape. The whole melody parts with these octaves are the same shape. We're not crossing strings. So we're just going to hold that 9 and 11 out. And then we're going to shoot back down to the 7 for a down, up, down. And another down, up, down on that 9. Down, up, down, 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 up on the 10. And that's that first section there. Then we're going to shoot our hand up to the 15th fret, still keeping that octave. So 15, 17. And we're going to sort of play the back end of the beat. And what I mean by that, we're going to play that last strike before you would move it down. So we're going to go 15, 12, 14. And that last down, up, down, 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 up. 15, 15, 12, 12, 14, down, up, down, 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 up. And we'll do the similar thing here. We're going to shoot back down to the 10th, keeping the octave, and we're going to go 10, 12, 9, 10, with those sort of picks at the end to transition between them. And after we leave that gap there, that hang on the 10th, and we're going to go just a down, down, up to finish off the phrase. Up, down, down, up, excuse me. So far we have this. Then we're just going to repeat the start again. Then all we're going to do is go into straight 16th notes now. We're going to move up to the 17, 14, 15, instead of playing that last stroke, instead of playing that 8th stroke there on the 15, we're actually going to shoot that down to the 9. And then down, up, down, and a slide into the 10. And that's it. Just because we can't decide, we carry on. It's ironic when the second verse for the track kind of keeps the energy up there. It's not as stripped back as the first verse because we're going into the chorus and we want to keep that vibe and that rock there. So with both guitar parts, we'll take a look with the band and then we'll go through one at a time and we'll see what's happening there. Your excuses, you don't want the same. Just because we can't decide, we carry on. It's ironic when we fight, we get along. So scream and numb yourself this feeling and that pain. All because we're comfortable, complacent in our time. We're waking from a dream and I can feel. The main theme of verse 2 is just the same as verse 1. We're just going to play it on distortion now in a bit of a rockier vibe. So we're going to have 3 repetitions of that and then just the tail end the same as verse 1. Now in terms of the palm muted chord part there, it's starting on a series of chugs on that low E power chord from before. We're not going to play the 4th string, we're only going to worry about the 6th and 5th string just to make it tight for the palm mute. So it's an open 6th string and first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, palm muted. And that's exactly the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And that's just going to repeat twice like that. Then we're going to play that open, adding the 4th string back into it, so barring that with the first finger as well on the 2nd fret. Do that for a whole bar or a whole repetition. And then cut in half evenly for the last repetition there. We're going to go a 3rd fret power chord, so 1st finger, 3rd fret, 6th string. Adding the 3rd finger on the 5th fret, on the 5th string just below it there. And tucking the 4th in on the 5th fret, 4th string just below it. And then moving that up 1 whole tone, so 2 frets. To that 5th fret there. So the whole chord section is and that's it. The bridge is probably my favourite guitar part for the whole track. It's the one time that both guitars are playing the same thing together with the bass, with the drums all locked in. And it sounds super tough and super heavy. Well, I think it does anyway. So let's take a look at it right now. I love this bridge so much. It's the one part of the whole track where we got both guitars and the bass and the drums sort of all locking in together for this really cool thrash part. So what we're going to do, we're going to palm mute the 6th string there, that low 6 open, we're going to go down, up, down. Then We're going to kind of go one finger per fret here, and we're going to play the 4th string with the 4th finger on the 10th fret there with an up pick. Then we're going to down pick the 5th string with the 1st finger. Without the rubbish vibrato, please. So just get used to that string skip. Then we're going to play the back to the 6th string there, open 3 times. 1 completely unmuted and 2 muted. Back to the 10th fret with the 4th finger, we're going to play the 5th string now, unmuted, and then 2 mutes on that open 6th string as well. Then we're going to play on the 5th string still, we're going to go 7, 10, and then we're going to slide the 7 up to the 12th, and then back to the 10th to make its own notes, just like the intro. So not really methodical, deliberate. Now I'm playing the 10, now it's the 12, now it's back to the 10. And then from that position we're going to take the 3rd finger now, so we're jumbling up a little bit. We're going to the 9th fret of the 4th string and we're going to play that open, slide to the 12th. You can choose to vibrato the 12th if you want. My vibrato's crap, so I just throw rubbish vibrato on everything. Then we're going to go back to that open 6th string. 8 strikes, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, palm muted. And then we're going to play a 3rd fret power chord without the 4th. None of that here. We're just going to go 1st finger, 3rd fret, 6th string, 3rd finger, 5th fret, 5th string. Play that once and then shoot that immediately down to that open power chord before, so open 6th string, 2nd fret, 1st finger, 2nd string. Play that twice with a little gap in the middle. So a rest. Not a palm mute in the middle. Not that, just so a little mute with the palm and with the rest of the fingers there. So far we have this. So from here all we have to do is play a little string skippy inside out thing. So we're going to go 2nd finger, 3rd fret, 5th string. Leave that ringing open as we're going to up pick the 4th string open there. And then back to the down pick on that 3rd fret there. That's all we're doing. Then we're going to up pick that 4th string again, but this time we're going to play 2nd fret, 1st finger. Back to down picking that 5th string there, but we're going to play 4th finger, 5th fret. We want it to sound a little bit messy. And now we're going to play 1st finger on that G string now, that 3rd string. And we're going to down pick the 4th string, 5th fret with the 4th finger. And now we're going to up pick that 3rd string with the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. And we're going to play the down pick on the 4th string open. That's the tail end. And that's going to happen 3 times. The last time we're not going to play that tail end, we're going to go. This time we're going to palm mute that open. And then we're going to go 1st fret power chord open. And then back to the 3rd fret after the palm mute. One more palm mute after we go back to the 3rd. And then we're just going to play 3 strikes on our good old favourite 7th fret octave on the 5th string and the 3rd string, and we're going to include the low E in there as well. And then we're going to go into the solo. There's a fair bit happening with the solo section of this track, so we'll take both the main solo track with the little studio magic overdubs and harmonies that we've put in there, and we'll go through the rhythm track as well. Solo time! Alright, so looking at the solo rhythm, it's essentially exactly the same as the chorus rhythm, but instead of doing the we're essentially just going to play power chords instead. So three times. And then we're just going to play a power chord on the 8th fret here, so 1st finger, 6th string, 3rd finger, 10th fret, 5th string, and we're going to add the 4th in below it on the 4th string of the 10th fret. So shooting it up to the 10th fret there with the power chord. So ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-da-ba. Back down to the 7th fret. And just a slide at the end. Up to the 8th and back to the 7th. So the solo rhythm will look like this. So to start the solo, we're going to shoot our 2nd finger into the 17th fret of the 4th string. And then we're going to play the 16th fret just with the 1st finger behind it. Move the 1st finger up to the 17 now, and we're going to hammer on 19 and then pull off back to the 17. Then we're going to take our 1st finger and move it back to the 16. Play that open, all on the 4th string here, and then we're going to play this with a slide with the 1st finger down to the 12th fret. So we don't want to hear, unlike the rest of the parts in this song, we don't want to hear, we just want to hear with that liquid sort of slide down. While this is happening, the harmony guitar's coming in just for this start section. So we're going to go 2nd finger sliding into the 20th fret of the B string, and then playing that 19 behind it with the 1st finger. And we're going to mirror that hammer on pull off there from 20 to 22 back to 20. And then we're going to play that 19 on its own with the first finger, and like before, sliding down to 15 this time, still on the B string. So that's part one of the solo done there. What we're going to do now, back to the main part now, there's no harmony in this part. We're down at this 12th fret with rubbish vibrato. We're going to do what I like to call the Kiss Love Gun Ace Frehley pentatonic run. Pinch it if you want, just don't wring its neck with the vibrato like I did on the record. So what that's going to be essentially is we're kind of, I like to think of it as a 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2 steps up, 1 step back. So we're going to go 14 on the 5th string there with the 3rd finger, 14, 12, 14. Then we're going to go 12th fret, 1st finger, 4th string, going back to the 14th fret with the 3rd finger on the 5th string. And we're going to move out the pentatonic box. So we're resetting it after those first 2 moves. And then we're going to do the same phrase on this 4th string. And then up to the 3rd string now, using the 3rd and 4th. Then we're going to bend this 14th fret on the 3rd string up. Then we're going to catch the B string with the little finger, with that 4th finger there on the B on the 15. And we're going to pick that on the way down too, with the 14th on the B. From there, we're going to do another hammer-on pull-off on the 12 to 14, back to the 12, still on that G string there, that 3rd string. Then do the same thing on 11 and 12. Second finger for that next part there, we're going to shoot that back up to the 4th string, 12th fret. Slide that up to 14th on the 4th string. And slide it back to the 12th. Then we're going to jump our first finger to the 5th string of the 10th fret and just play 10-9. Now, in the back of this, while that note on the 9th fret there on the 5th string is hanging out, the harmony guitar does a quick little transitional. In the room or live, I'll just play this. I'll just cut that note short. And that's just moving your first finger from the 5th string down to the 4th. I'll up pick that, because then I'll bring the second finger on the 5th string, 10th fret. Move the whole shape with the first finger up 1 fret to the 10th fret, up pick that. Down pick 5th string, 12th fret. And then return to that 10th fret there on the 4th string with the first finger and hammer on to 10 to 12. With a lightly muting that 5th string there. Looking at part 3, we're going to slide our first finger on that 4th string into the 14th fret. We're going to add the 3rd finger on the 16, and then the 4th finger on the 17. And then we're going to play that 14th fret with some rubbish vibrato. We're still on the 4th string there. Then we're going to slide our second finger up to the 19th fret of the 4th string. Now the harmony in the background after this is doing a little 16, 19, 21, back to 16. And then we're coming in with a slide on the 17 on the B. So we're just going to rubbishly vibrato that, let that hang out. Over this little run that we're going to do now. And it sounds kind of weird and out of the box, but it's fairly straightforward once you can teach your hands to do the weird string skippy and double up thing. And by that what I mean is second finger on the 17th fret, 4th string. Then we're going to up pick the first finger on the 3rd string of the 16th fret. And then we're going to go through and play the 19th fret on that 3rd string with the 4th finger. Pull off to the 17, pull off back to the 16, and then we're going to catch that 17th fret 4th string again with the 2nd finger on the way down. Then we're going to double up and we're going to play down, up, down across those 17th and 16th frets again across the 3rd and 4th string. Then we're going to hammer on pull off on the 3rd string, 17th fret to 19 with the 1st and 3rd finger. While we're there, on the 17th we're going to play the B string with our 4th finger there on the 20th fret. Up pick that, down pick the 19 back on the G string, that 3rd string. Up pick on the 17 on the G. And then we're going to down pick back on the 19 but on the 4th string this time. So the whole thing sounds like this. Now to finish off the solo with this part 4, this last part, we're going to slide into the 16th fret with the 1st finger on the 4th string, add the 17th with the 2nd, 19 with the 4th, shoot down to the 14th, this is all on the 4th string with the 1st finger, and then we're going to play 3rd finger on the 16th fret. Then we're going to slide back up to that 16th with the 1st finger. Then we're going to play the 4th finger on the 3rd string on the 19. Follow that down with the 17th with the 2nd finger. Still on that 3rd string. Then we're going to do this little trill between 16 and 17 on the B, which is hammer on, pull off, 16, 17. With the 1st and 2nd finger. Then we're going to go back to the 4th string, play 17. Then we're just going to repeat 16, 17 across the 3rd and 4th strings. Shoot the 1st finger onto the 4th string, 14th fret, and then we're going to play our 16th fret with our 3rd finger. And now we're going to play this major run up, starting from the 4th string, 1st finger, 16th fret. And we're going to add the 17th with the 2nd finger and 19th with the 4th. Down, up, down. Then we're going to move this one string towards the floor to the 3rd string. And we're going to up, down, up, pick that. In sort of a triplet feel. Then we're going to shoot our 1st finger to our B string, 17th fret, down, up pick the 19th on the B, down pick the 20th on the B, and then same shape on the high E there, 17 up, 19 down, 20th up. And now there is a harmony for this. This is what we call studio magic, being that this is what I believe to be impractical and unplayable. We're going to keep the same shape, but we're going to start it from the 19th fret on the 4th string. Which is all fine and dandy until you get to that high E string there on that 20th fret, in which you have to then shoot your first finger into the 22nd, and then play the 24th with the 3rd finger on the high E. I'm not even going to attempt to play that up to speed. Anyone that can play that harmony part in context with the rest of the solo, up to speed, recorded live, will get a free shirt of their choosing. You will by far be a way better guitar player than I. But that concludes the solo. Now, as I mentioned before, the last chorus here is a little bit different. It's a double chorus and there are more layers and things being introduced into the track. So we'll split it in half and go through the first half of the chorus coming out of the solo together. Now, the octave melodies for this first half of the 3rd chorus remains the same as the 1st and 2nd chorus. And what I mean by that is, after the solo is finished, the little break comes in and it's just the same notes from that chorus melody. So it's one full repetition of that, like a normal chorus. The only difference there is with the rhythm guitars, instead of coming in with a which would mirror the first 2 chorus, we actually start out with that rhythm guitar just playing one big open note power chord, which is just again that open 6th string, that 2nd fret, 1st finger, 5th string, and barring with the 4th string underneath it on the 2nd fret there. And we're going to cut that short to let that little octave melody and the lead part that we'll get to breathe through a little bit before it slams back in with the So the leads coming into this last chorus here are harmonised the entire way through. So I'll teach a section and then I'll teach the harmony, sort of back to back. We're going to come in with that nice 19th fret B string bend up, and we're just going to play the next note down. Then we're going to hammer on pull off, moving to the 20th fret here, to the B string with the 1st and 3rd finger, 20 to 22. Shooting down to 19, and then down to 15 with the 1st finger. Then we're going to slide back up to the 20th fret on the B string still with the 2nd finger, 19, and we're going to go 22 to 20, and there's a trill pattern that will follow all the way down. So that's pulling off from the 20 to the 19 on the B, and then a slide down to the 17. Same principle, but we're just going to follow the scale down. So 19 pulling off to the 17, sliding to 15. And then we do the same thing on the 17, 15 to the 13. And then we're going to go our 1st finger back up to the 15th fret on the B, and we're going to hammer on the 17th and the 19th fret. Bit faster. And then we're just going to finish that with a nice, so tremolo picking the 15, 17, 19 and 20 on the B. Just like that. Now the harmony for this section, we're going to come in back to the start there, we're going to go 17th fret on that high E string. And all the moves we're going to make are just going to mirror the lower harmony there. So 17 bending up to the 19, back to the 17. And then we're going to go 19, 20, 19. (17) into the 14. And then we're going to change the key up a little bit and actually do a higher harmony. So instead of going, which would mirror the lower harmony there, we're actually going to go 20, 19, 22, 20. All on this high E here. And then we're going to do that trill all the way down following the key. So 20, 19, 17. And then again, 19, 17, 15. Keeping it with the key now, so changing the position. Instead of going to the 13, we're going to go 17, 15, 14. And then hammer on 15, 17, 19. And it'll sound like this. And then we're going to just do those tremolo picking as well on the 15, 17, 19, 20. Bit faster. Now we're going to go back and look at the last section of this in the main part, so the main line there, and this is all going to be tremolo picked. So we're going to start on our 17th fret, 4th string, 2nd finger. We're moving that down to the 16th fret. From there, we're going to take our 4th finger on the 3rd string, and we're going to play 19. Down to 14. First finger there, and our 2nd finger is going to add on to the 15. Then we're going to shoot the 1st finger down to 11. And then we're going to play 12. With rubbish vibrato, just like that. And now for the harmony of that, it's going to mirror it exactly in an octave. So 20th fret, 2nd string, 2nd finger. Jumping to the 19 with the 1st, then taking the 4th finger up on the 22nd fret on the high E. So that is 4th finger on the 22nd fret. 1st finger on the 19th, 2nd finger coming in on the 20th, shooting the 1st back down to 14th, and vibratoing 15 with the 2nd finger. And that's it. The last part of the song here is that extension of the chorus, that double chorus with more layers and different picking and more things happening. So for one final time, we'll take a look at everything with the band for context, and then we'll go through step by step, one riff at a time. This whole section is just going to centre around 16th notes, with the right hand doing a lot of the accenting there. So maybe bring up the tab and we'll have a look exactly where they are. I'm not going to go through every single mute here because it's giving me a headache just thinking about it, honestly. But I'll play it really slow so we can really get the grasp of what's happening here. And I'll loop it. And from there, we're going to shoot into a 5th fret, 1st finger, 6th string power chord, adding the 3rd finger there on the 5th string, on the 9th fret, on the 7th fret, excuse me, and then adding the 4th finger just in behind it on the 7th as well on the 3rd string. And we're going to essentially tremolo pick this, but trying to keep the notes even. So 8 strikes, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we're going to go one more mute, open, to play all 3 notes. Sliding it down to the 3rd fret there with the same power chord shape. And then after that little hang, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So far we have this. And then we're going to do the same picking pattern as the start of this, but we're going to keep our fingers on the 3rd fret here with our index, and we're going to bar 6th string and the 5th string, and we're going to bring the 3rd finger in on the 5th fret, 4th string to make this weird extended power chord here. I'm going to do the same picking pattern there. And then we're going to halfway through change back to the open E there. And then we're going to go back to the 5th fret there with the same sort of tremolo picking. And instead of continuing it through, we're going to have just a couple of strums. And then instead of the last down, up, we're going to play a central octave single note phrase, sliding into the 7th fret of the 4th string with the 3rd finger, playing the octave below it with the 1st finger on the 6th string, 5th fret, and then moving that 2 frets down towards the headstock. So the whole first bit of this sounds like this. From there, we're going to return to the original picking pattern of the main chorus with a slight variation. Returning to that 5th fret there for the power chord, but we're going to do a little bit of palm muting here with some open strikes afterwards. Returning to the picking there, so it's... So 6 strikes and then 2 open. So that'll sound like this. And we're going to do that normal tail end just to finish it off. So the whole last part of the chorus rhythm sounds like this. and ending on that big open E power chord to finish the phrase. In terms of the octave melody being played through all of this, there's some variations happening here, and there's actually two parts recorded on the record that are harmonizing with each other, so it's a different melody and it's a harmony. So we'll look at the first one now. We're going to sit on the 10th fret, and these are all going to be 16th notes with the right hand. And this whole section is going to be straight on those 5th and 3rd string octaves, not really moving it between strings, just moving the root position around with that down, up, down, up, down, up, straight picking. So the first finger is going to be on the 10th fret, 5th string, and the third finger is going to be on the 12th fret, 3rd string. So we're going to go 8, double it, then we're going to shoot up to 17 for 6 strikes, finishing off the last 2 strikes plus another 8 on the 12. Moving up to the 14th for another 6, down to 10, with 8 strikes on the 12 and then 8 strikes on the 14 to finish it. So that part will sound like this. Back to this. There's going to be one variation here where we're going to shoot up to a harmonized 14th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret, finishing with the end of it normally and ending on that octave with the extra low E in there. Shoot. Now the other part of those octave chords will actually start on our 7th fret. Same strings. Shoot up to 12, for 6, down to 9, up to 10. So it's those same movements, we're just changing which root notes they are. And then we're going to go those 8 strikes on the 9, and then 8 strikes on 10. So that part will sound like this. Back into the ending. And that's all of it, guys. That is every guitar part for our track Parallelysis. If you liked it, let us know about it. Leave a comment or press the little like button and share it around. There'll be a lot more lesson content coming very soon. Now if you want more Parallelysis content, I did a guitar playthrough a few weeks ago, and also we have our lyric video done by our very own Tom Noonan, designated drummer. With that said, we'll see you guys next time, and keep practicing.